We've been asked to find the absolute maximum of this graph y equals 2 ln of x all divided by x. So the first thing I'll do is go to my calculator and I'll hit y equals 2 ln of x, and I'll just put a divide by x because there's only one thing in the denominator. And then I'll hit graph, and before you hit graph you might hit zoom number 6, which is the standard zoom, and your graph will look something like this. And it'll start to level off. And so you're looking for this maximum right in here somewhere. Well, the way to find any of that is using second and then trace. And then number 4 is for a maximum, and the very first thing that will come up is you'll be asked for a left bound. And your cursor should show up somewhere on the graph. What you're going to need to do is arrow this cursor. Let's say it shows up over here. You're going to need to arrow that cursor over so that it's definitely left of where you think the maximum is, and then you'll hit enter. So you'll arrow it over, hit enter, and what will happen when you do that is you're going to get a little arrow that comes up on your calculator screen. That arrow is telling you that it's going to check for all maximums to the right of this value. The next thing you'll be asked for is a right bound. You'll need to arrow back to where you're right of what you think the maximum is, and you'll hit enter again, and you'll get an arrow like this. It's going to find the maximum between those two arrows. So go ahead and do that. I've done it on my calculator. Can't see it on the screen. The next thing you're asked for is a guess. But because you've already given a left bound and a right bound, you can just hit enter, and it's going to find the maximum between those two arrows. And when I do that, it shows up about here on my graph, and it gives me an x equal to 2.718 and a y of 0.7357. And so the question is, which one of those is the maximum? Well, the y value is always the max and the min because it's the highest and the lowest. Notice for part B, it says at what value of x does the maximum occur? Well, the answer to that would be this x value of 2.718, and we know our maximum is 0.7357. The problem is, I don't know which one that is, but I've got a calculator, and I know that e is about 2.71, and so e squared is going to be something in the 6 or 7 range, so it's not either of these. 2 divided by e, I'm just going to have to check to see what that is. So on my calculator, I'll do 2 divided by e, and I get 0.7358. So that's the right answer for part A. Notice we got 2.718. Well, that is E. So that's the answer to part B. And now we'll take a look at part C. So this last part you've asked, on what interval is f of x increasing? Well, f of x is increasing when it's going up. So it's going up here all the way until it gets to the maximum. There's an asymptote here at x equals 0, so we can't go any farther left than that. So that's going to be the left side of my interval. As a reminder, intervals are always domains or exit values. So we're going to start at 0, could be A or D. It can't be C because of this hard bracket, because we can never get to 0. So it can't be C, can't be B, but it could be A or D. And where we end is this x value of E. So that makes the answer A.